Well, good morning, and welcome to Morning Gospel Fuel with Mr. G. It is Monday, August 3rd, the feast day of St. Lydia, and she is considered to be the very first convert to Christianity, way back in the first century, and the first one to be baptized. So, pretty cool. Didn't know that. And today's Gospel is from Matthew chapter 14, verses 22 through 36. Let's begin in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. Then he made the disciples get into the boat and precede him to the other side, while he dismissed the crowds. After doing so, he went up on the mountain by himself to pray. When it was evening, he was there alone. Meanwhile, the boat, already a few miles offshore, was being tossed about by the waves, for the wind was against it. During the fourth watch of the night, he came toward them, walking on the sea. When the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were terrified. "It is a ghost," they said, and they cried out in fear. At once Jesus spoke to them. "Take courage, it is I. Do not be afraid." Peter said to him in reply, "Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water." He said, "Come." Peter got out of the boat and began to walk on the water toward Jesus. But when he saw how strong the wind was, he became frightened, and beginning to sink, he cried out, "Lord, save me." Immediately Jesus stretched out his hand and caught him and said to him, "O you of little faith, why did you doubt?" After they got into the boat, the wind died down. Those who were in the boat did him homage, saying, "Truly you are the Son of God." After making the crossing, they came to land at Gennesaret. When the men of that place recognized him, they sent word to all the surrounding country. People brought to him all those who were sick and begged him that they might touch only the tassel on his cloak, and as many as touched it were healed. Okay, we've got one of the most famous scenes in Scripture of the walking on the water this morning. So before we get started, though, the fourth watch of the night, there's a footnote on that, and I thought that was interesting just because I like learning about what different things mean, because I remember hearing fourth watch of the night oftentimes, or different watches or different terms and different whatever from that time period. But anyway, the fourth watch of the night is between 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. So it's pretty early in the morning. Because evidently it says the Romans divided the 12 hours between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. into 4 equal parts called watches. So now you know. So during the fourth watch of the night, so this is directly after yesterday's gospel where Jesus multiplied the loaves and the fish, which is also shortly before the death of John the Baptist. There's a lot of stuff going on. All right, because these are all just continual gospel verses. So we got the walking on the water, and so Jesus once again goes up by himself to pray, just showing how important it is for men to take a step away. Men are programmed differently than women, where men have to take a step away to do their prayer, where women can multitask like crazy and can, they can offer up their prayers to God while they're doing household chores and stuff like that. Which is why male and female are so unique, and why we are called to marriage as male and female. But that's no need to get into apologetics with that in the faith. But anyway, so Jesus is walking on water, and I like to put yourself in the scene. So you're on the boat with the disciples, and you see what's all going on, and there's a big storm that comes by, right? So you get scared, and it's getting all rocky, and it's dark out. It's pitch black, right? 3 to 6 a.m. It's usually pretty dark. But the disciples saw Jesus walking on water, and they instantly were afraid. But then Jesus told them not to be afraid and take courage. It's him. But then Peter challenged him right away. Peter's like, "If it's you, have me walk towards you." And Jesus said, "All right, come. Let's make it happen. Let's do this." And Peter starts to walk. and he starts walking on water. But then a strong wind came, and he became frightened, and then he started to sink. And Jesus caught him and told him, "Oh, you of little faith." Now, this is the Catholic Church's first pope, which is interesting. Why did Jesus choose Peter? Because he's the chosen one, who he handed the keys of the kingdom of here on earth. So, and even Peter doubted, as he got distracted, and that's going to be our challenge today. So Peter started this walk towards Jesus on the water. And I can only imagine how Peter felt while he was walking on water, but then he got distracted by that wind. So he went out in faith, in hopeful optimism, but then he got distracted and fear set in. And then he lost sight of what he was originally doing, of walking on water. But then Jesus had to catch him. So that's, I think, what we all need for our own lives. Whenever we start off with, faith and optimism and good vibes, and then something in life happens to distract us, or fear comes in, or we start to doubt ourselves, or this or that or the other, or we get off track, and then we have a hard time getting back. But then notice right away Jesus picked him up. And that's what we need to do the same with. Every single time that we start well, things go back, we need to go straight to Jesus. Not to sound cliche or anything, but do not be afraid, and just to go straight to Jesus whenever he needs it, because he will help pick us back up. And if the disciples who were with Jesus virtually every single day, and Peter himself lost faith, naturally we are going to have doubts ourselves, and that is perfectly normal. So that's our challenge. Stay the course. Don't be afraid. And have a great Monday. God bless. In the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, amen.